I'm a South African and I'm an educator, and it's never just been a job for me, it's who I am when I wake up in the morning. And my focus as an educator has always been to find that unique potential in individuals and unlock it. And my passion for this quickly took me to the rural parts of South Africa and its vast, untapped human potential. Being an educator and living in South Africa, I've always known on a rational level that people in the rural spaces, in those remote rural villages, are left behind and sometimes ignored by a government system, a system that puts large amounts of money into their education programs, but is just riddled with corruption and inefficiency. But this isn't breaking news in Africa, and it's not breaking news in parts of the world. But in 2008, I adopted a young girl, born to a teenage mom, and put up for adoption at birth. Her name is Maya, and she's the most amazing young person. She explodes with her personality and with her potential. And seeing how opportunity and education molds Maya and grows her mind and spirit made for me a huge and a profound internalization of what I'd always known before, just as sort of a real, as a theoretical understanding. Seeing the path of my daughter's life change through access to opportunity and education through what can only be described as a chance meeting. I often wonder, what would have happened if I hadn't been at that social worker's on that day? And where would her life be, and where would the hundreds of children's lives be without opportunity? And this started a fire in me, and it's a fire that I can't put out. And by the life that she lives, Maya reminds me every single day that it should not matter where you're born. You must be given the opportunity to reach your full potential. And so since then, I've had one mission, and that is to bring access to world-class education to the rural parts of South Africa and to the immense untapped human potential that we find there. And so in a rural space in South Africa called Hazyview, we aim to create a prototype for digital learning, a new model, a model based on access, a model based on opportunity, and a model we believe will bring South Africa into the center of a new way of doing education. And it's a way to use and harness the advances that the world has made in technology and use that to bring education to the rural parts of South Africa. And so armed with this big idea, the first thing we did was buy a banana packing shed. And with a wonderful corporate partner, in 10 months we managed to go from banana barn to fully functional digital learning campus. We have over 60 digital stations, tablets, passionate local facilitators and educators. There's an ICT academy, hospitality courses in place, and what makes me very excited is an open learning academy for young learners who are at school. And already we have 200 adults and over 150 learners accessing our center every day. And a further 450 are coming through the center from the local primary school, accessing the technology during their school time. But we realize that technology on its own is not enough, especially in our African context. And in my work in Africa, I have seen so many dusty computer rooms that have been created out of really generous but sometimes misguided donations. Africa is a collective place, and Africa puts a huge amount of weight on human relationships. And so our human software in these digital learning centers is by far one of the most important things. And when we look at Africa, we want to make sure that Africa knows that it has and needs its own solutions. Africa, we need to take what is good about what is good about Africa. We need to grow it, we need to value it, and we need to export it. And then we need to use that opportunity and understand that we have as much to teach the world as the world has to teach us. While I was working a lot in rural South Africa, I quickly became part of the many people meeting under the trees. And these meetings, which happen all the time, either for socializing or for learning, contain for me the essence of what makes Africa special: simplicity and the deep connections that we have between people. It's what we call in South Africa Ubuntu, which is I am the best version of me only because of my interactions with you. And for me, this this image set for me the objective of what we needed to do. Take what is great about Africa, take what is great about the rest of the world and technology that has been established, and how do we use that to come up with a new version of education that can put Africa in the center of and lead the world. Africa doesn't have to follow. Africa can actually leapfrog. And so what we did is, when we built our digital learning center, I wanted a tree to grow inside the center. And I wanted it to be a place where people from all over the world could meet, and we could learn how we are meant to learn from each other and together. And so we found a local land artist, and our digital tree of knowledge was created. And this tree has become a centerpiece for this digital learning center. And it's a place where African people can hang out with people from all over the globe. And yes, we've created a physical sense, somewhere we can actually sit and feel like we're connecting with people, but we've added the iPad. And that's exactly what we have to do. We have to take what is great about African culture and people, add the technology of the world, and come up with a whole new solution that I believe can become a whole new blueprint of education. And yes, the space is beautiful. It is a world-class space. It has world-class infrastructure and technology. And it, by its very nature, the Learning Center sets the tone for excellence in every aspect of its appearance. And it is where a person can have the opportunity to become the best version of themselves, and to have the best that technology has to offer, as well as great teachers. And why not? There's no reason. And so in our digital learning center, apart from creating our tree, creating that space, we understand truly that young people in Africa, if given the chance to connect with the rest of the world, have not only questions to ask, but have solutions to give. And so in our digital learning center, the tree has become a place that people gather. It's different people all the time, and it really is a wonderful place to be working in, and it inspires us always to be African and to be great. The access that technology provides us, it just provides human potential with access. It's the most amazing thing that the tool to access the world's information now fits in your pocket. And this has completely changed the game in education. Degrees and diplomas can be studied, and school can be visited in a cloud. And it's removed the possibility of being born in the wrong place. If you have access to this digital technology, you have access to the same wealth of information as anyone else. It doesn't matter if you're born in Shabalala or if you're born in New York. If you have the access, you access the same wealth of information. But we are not building a school. We meet anyone who chooses to walk into the Learning Center. We meet them where they are on their educational journey. Whether you are 5 years old or 77, the Digital Learning Center is open for you, but you choose to walk through that door. And you invest in yourself. There are some fees for courses, but if you can't pay, you can always give service to the Learning Center, but you invest in yourself. Nobody is given your future. Our future is always ours to choose to create. And that's what we'd like, we want the message to be, is that take the best of Africa, take the best of technology, and come up with a solution that we do believe will put South Africa and Africa in the forefront of the new education. And it was just summed up by one of our young learners, and she just put it the best way she could have spoken for 1 second. And all she said to me, she said, "Kate, this is allowing me to change my life from chance to choice." Thank you very much. Thank you.